Hello Jimmy, I've just discovered your channel and I'm watching one of your videos right now, about half an hour long, about propagation of Monstera and Philodendron, and you inspired me to answer. I was going to write a comment, but I thought it's going to be too long. So I've been growing plants for about 45 years, and I'm 52 now, when I was about 15, that's when I first started to propagate Monstera deliciosa. And basically what I did, when it got too big, I just divided the entire stem up into nodes. Each node only a couple of inches in length, and I planted them horizontally in individual pots, and they had an aerial root which I just cut so that it would fit in the pot. Now I never saw any evidence that these aerial roots rotted. All that happened was, all these cuttings, they were fairly slow to get going. I mean, I can't put a time on it, but it was reasonable. And I am sure I never had a failure ever. Now, I will show you. Now, I live in this little room at the moment, packed with all sorts of goodies, and I've been growing and propagating the Borsigiana Albo variegator, or whatever we want to call it, for about a year now. I have never used water. I don't use water propagation at all. One, because of the danger of rot. Two, because it produces water roots, and well, I think with some plants that's successful. When I've been trying to root Ficus benjamina cuttings and its varieties, that seems to work best if you root them in water and then put them into soil. But I have not had a failure with these monsteras at all. So what I do now, what I've done, I'll show you what I've done. I air layer them. Right, so these are little aquatic pots, and I just chop them around and I make them fit on the stem. Now you can see there, that's an old one. You can see all the roots, they're growing really well. So what I did, I started at the top, which was obviously up here somewhere, and I just put a row, like a column of these separate pots there to air layer it and wait a certain amount of time. And when it seems to be ready, well, I chop the top one off, put it into a pot, and wait a month or so, and then I sell it as a well-rooted plant. And I haven't had any failures with that yet. This is one that went into a pot nearly a month ago. This isn't a top cutting, this is from a node. it's just the actual cut. The cut itself is buried. I won't dig it up, but you can see it's from a node because this is the old leaf, right, that was on the main plant, this huge leaf, and the next leaf to emerge is this one. But you can see how healthy it looks, smaller but healthy, and then that was the next one, and now that's the third one. So when this is firmed up, I'll sell it. But I think what I really wanted to do was just to talk to you about this air layering method, because it means that they can grow a good root system in the quickest possible way. And now that I've cut this top off, I'm going to leave that there until this node has really started to grow. The fact that it's attached to the main plant still will mean that this node will grow in the quickest possible time. If I cut that off now, it will still grow, but it'll take a little bit longer. I've managed to get hold of a variegated Adansonii. Now, I don't plan to propagate that in water, despite what growers say, or certain growers say. I'm going to air layer it as well, and then, you know, gradually divide them up and pot them. But yeah, I just wanted to let you know about this, see what you think. I think oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to cover was this use of terracotta pots. They're actually not good if they're porous. Most of them are porous. What happens is the water, the qualities of the clay are constantly drawing the water out through the sides of the pot, and the roots will follow that, and what usually happens is they create a shell of roots attached to the inside of the pot, and that is very vulnerable to drying out and heat and cold. Usually heat, not so much cold. And you find that usually in the body of the pot, the main body of it, there aren't many roots because the water is always running away from that point. And you, after some time, you tend to find the shell of dead roots stuck to the inside of the pot. Yeah, and the other thing was the nodes. I mean, I don't want to say that your cuttings have too many nodes. It depends how you want to make your cuttings, but you can make a separate cutting from each node and get more plants. What was the other thing? Yeah, I'm sure there was something else. Oh yeah, I think the last thing was the roots. They do mainly grow around the nodes, but on Monstera deliciosa, they can grow from anywhere on the stem. So it's not really important to have a node for the roots. I think that's it. Well, thank you for your videos. They're very enjoyable, and thank you for being a doctor.